All right, so you're looking to make some smart bets on this upcoming Jets-Texans game.
Thursday night matchup.
Yeah, Thursday night.
Right.
Buckle up because we're diving deep into the stats and trends.
Some expert analysis for you.
Yeah, to help you make those winning picks.
Absolutely.
We're not just going to give you the predictions.
Right.
We're going to break down the why behind them.
Yeah.
So you understand the reasoning and make your own informed decisions.
That's the goal.
Right.
So this one's a real head scratcher on the surface.
Yeah.
You've got a struggling Jets team on a 5-game skid.
Yeah, 5 straight losses.
5 straight losses.
That's got a sting.
Going up against a Texans squad that's been defying expectations all season.
Right, like how has this even happened?
But as any seasoned bettor knows, there's always more to the story than meets the eye.
Exactly.
Right.
So let's start with the Jets.
Okay.
5 straight losses, but their last game against the Patriots,
Yeah.
they actually outgained them,
Yeah.
had more first downs,
They did.
but still choked in the second half.
Yeah. What given?
I don't get it.
It's almost like they're allergic to closing out games.
Why?
They build up a decent lead and then boom, it all falls apart.
Oh.
Missed field goals, punts.
Oh, no.
And suddenly the Patriots are racking up points.
Oh, jeez.
It's enough to make you wonder if they've got some kind of mental block.
Oh, right. Like you see that kind of collapse
Mm-hmm.
and you start to think maybe this team just isn't built to win right now.
Yeah.
But then you got the Texans
Yeah.
seemingly pulling victories out of thin air.
Oh, it's wild.
They're winning games, but their quarterback.
C.J. Stroud
Yeah.
is constantly under pressure.
How are they doing it?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Stroud's been sacked the 4th most in the league
Oh, wow.
and hurried more than any other quarterback.
He's getting pummeled.
He's getting absolutely pummeled back there.
Goodness.
But here's the interesting part.
Yeah.
He's actually thriving under pressure.
Oh, really?
He's making smart decisions, extending plays, and keeping the Texans in games they have no business being in.
So maybe the sacks aren't the best indicator of his performance then.
I don't think so.
It's more about how he's handling that pressure.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's where the Texans' game plan comes in.
Okay.
They've leaned heavily on their run game,
Okay.
especially against blitz-heavy teams.
Makes sense.
This keeps the clock ticking, limits Stroud's exposure to opposing pass rushes,
Right.
and wears down those defenses.
A little smart.
It's a classic underdog strategy. Control the clock limit mistakes
Yeah.
and grind out those wins.
Right. So we've got this fascinating contrast.
Yeah.
The Jets, who seem to be falling apart,
Uh-huh.
and the Texans defying all expectations.
It's a good story
Yeah.
so far.
But how does this translate to the betting world?
Right.
Well, let's dive into the numbers
Right.
that are making this matchup so intriguing.
All right, let's talk about the Jets' defense.
Yeah, their defense.
They've got a ferocious pass rush, ranked 4th in the league for sacks,
Wow.
which could spell trouble for Stroud,
For sure.
especially given his struggles against them last year at MetLife.
Interesting.
They might be struggling overall,
Yeah.
but this defense
Right.
is a force to be reckoned with.
So you got this potentially explosive matchup.
Yeah.
The Texans' offensive line, which has been shaky all season,
Mm-hmm.
against the Jets' relentless pass rush.
Right?
That could be a game changer.
It could indeed.
Yeah.
And for those who like to play the trends,
Oh, yeah.
we've got some juicy ones here.
Amy.
The Texans are 4-1 against the spread as road underdogs.
Interesting.
The under has hit in 6 of their 8 games this season.
Okay.
And get this,
Right.
they've won their last 5 against AFC teams.
Now we're talking.
That's right.
All right. So you've got the Texans defying expectations, a potentially dominant Jets defense, and some seriously tempting betting trends.
That's a tough one.
Where do we even begin to break this down?
Well, let's look at the spread.
Yeah.
The Jets are currently favored by 1.5 points.
So not a huge spread. Basically, they need to win by at least 2 points for a bet on them to cover.
Right.
But given their recent struggles,
Yeah,
that's not as straightforward as it might seem,
for sure.
especially with those tempting Texans underdog trends
Right.
we just talked about.
Exactly. That 4-1 record against the spread as road underdogs definitely makes you think twice.
I'm thinking twice.
But then again, the Jets are desperate playing at home
Uh-huh.
and have a defense that could really disrupt Stroud.
Okay, so we've got points for both sides.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk points.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about that over-under bet,
Mm-hmm.
this is where things get really spicy.
All right, over-under time.
The over-under is currently set at 42 points,
42 points.
which leans towards a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, and it makes sense when you consider both teams' strengths. and how they've been playing,
Okay.
the Jets have that potent pass rush, and the Texans are relying on their run game to control the clock. It points towards a grinded-out kind of matchup.
So a bit of a slugfest.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, the under has hit in 6 out of 8 Texans games this season.
Yeah, if you're looking at betting trends, that one's hard to ignore.
Yeah, that's a pretty good trend.
It is, but remember, trends are just one piece of the puzzle.
Right, of course.
You also got to consider the matchup specifics, the coaching strategies, even the weather conditions.
All those little things.
All those little things can make a difference.
Right. A savvy bettor looks at the whole picture. They don't just blindly follow trends.
Absolutely.
They use them to inform their decisions.
That's the key.
Okay.
And that's what makes this game so interesting. You've got compelling arguments on both sides.
Yeah, it seems very even.
Do you trust the Jets to finally break their losing streak and cover that small spread at home?
Yeah.
Or do you ride the Texans' underdog wave and bet on them to keep defying the odds?
That's tough.
Tough call.
All right, it's prediction time.
Oh, okay, hit me.
What's your gut feeling on this one?
My gut.
Are you taking the Jets to cover? Are you going with the Texans and the points, or are you playing it safe and sticking with the over-under?
Okay, well, if I were placing a bet,
Yeah.
I'd probably lean towards the Jets covering that medical 1.5 spread.
Okay, interesting. So the Jets...
They're at home. They need this win badly.
Yeah, they do.
And their defense seems like a good matchup against Stroud and the Texans.
So you're thinking the Jets' desperation and defensive advantage will outweigh those favorable Texans trends?
Yeah, that's my hunch.
Okay.
But of course, this is just one perspective.
Yeah.
You've heard all the analysis. Now it's up to you to weigh the factors and make your own informed decision.
Right.
Do you trust the trends, or do you believe in the Jets' potential to turn things around?
Okay, and don't forget about that under on 42 points.
Right, the under.
That's looking pretty tempting.
Yeah.
Considering the defensive strengths of both teams and their tendencies to rely on the run game.
Absolutely, if you're feeling risk-averse.
Right.
That under could be a solid play. It aligns with the predicted style of play and has those historical trends backing it up.
Okay, so to wrap things up, you've seen the struggles, the surprises, and the potential advantages on both sides. Now it's decision time.
That's right.
What are you going to do with all this intel?
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
The beauty of sports betting is that there's no one right answer.
That's true.
It's all about weighing the factors, assessing the risks, and ultimately trusting your gut.
Right. I like it.
It's funny, you know, we've been talking a lot about the stats and the trends, but sometimes you just got to go with your gut.
I hear you.
You know, you can analyze all the data in the world, but there's always that intangible element, that feeling you get about a team or a matchup.
Totally. And that's where experience comes in, I think. The more games you watch,
For sure.
the more bets you place.
Right.
You start to develop that intuition. You start to see those little things that the numbers might not always capture.
It's true.
So you're saying it's not just about crunching numbers.
Right.
It's also about understanding the nuances of the game, the psychology of the players,
Yeah.
all those little factors that can make a difference.
All those things matter.
Okay.
Absolutely. For example, think about the Jets.
Okay.
They're desperate for a win,
For sure.
but sometimes that desperation can work against you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it can lead to mistakes, to pressing too hard,
Right.
to playing outside of your game plan.
You get all messed up in your head.
Yeah, you overthink it.
On the flip side,
Mm-hmm.
the Texans are playing with house money.
They are.
They're exceeding expectations, so the pressure is off.
Pressure's off.
They can go out there and play loose,
Right.
which can be dangerous for any opponent.
That's right. Exactly.
Uh,
So while I'm leaning towards the Jets to cover,
uh-huh.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Texans pulled off another upset. And honestly, that's what makes betting on sports so exciting. You never know for sure what's going to happen.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well said. So for all you seasoned bettors out there,
Right.
consider the stats, weigh the trends, trust your gut,
Yeah.
and most importantly, have fun with it.
Have fun.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm putting my money where my mouth is.
Okay, let's hear it.
Jets finish 1.5 and under 42.
Bold predictions. Let's see how they play out on Thursday night.
We'll see.
And remember, folks, this is just our analysis.
Yeah.
Do your own research.
Yeah.
Make your own calls.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, bet responsibly.
Absolutely.
Good luck.